Okay, lettuce head community, we have a new garden to unbox. It has been a while since I've done a brand new system to kind of check it out. So I am not even sure what this one is called. Zisiz, you tell me. How would you like to pronounce that? I have no idea. But it's a little bit of a different shape than what I've had in the past, and it's black. So if you've watched my videos before, or if you are part of the lettuce head community, you know that I am obsessed with all of the white, but we're gonna take the black and see what it's all about. There's a little instruction manual. So let's see if we can get this out of here. It's packaged very well. It's sitting in there nice and snug. If I don't drop everything now. Okay, so here's our lid. And we have the power, vegetable, flour, and the pump. And it does have a removable sticker on this, so we'll make sure we take that off. And let's get the rest out. And it sounds like all the parts are tucked inside. So it looks like the maximum fill is around 4 liters. Here is your grow deck, and your grow deck is going to hold 12 plants. And one thing I'm noticing right away is the water cover. Here's your water cover. So that's really nice. You don't have to worry about the little rubber stoppers, picking it up, putting it down, where did it go, that type of thing. It is attached right to your grow deck. And then here is the light bar with a good extension on it. And we will measure this all out once it's together so you know how far up or down you have. It's really important that the lights are nice and low when you're first germinating. They also get a little bit of a heat from the light. And then as your plants grow, depending on the height is really gonna depend on what you wanna grow. If it doesn't go super tall, you're not gonna be doing things like tomatoes or sugar snap peas, which I just twist and wind around to keep them contained, but they still need a lot of height to get started. Here is a standard plug, pretty basic. And I can already tell the pump looks like it's a little bit different, so we'll find that out here in a minute. Then here is your kit. Here's a whole set of stickers. These are going to go over top of your net baskets, and that way the plant grows up through the middle. You just rip the little hole out of that, and it will stop algae on your growing media or your growing sponges, which it looks like we got 2 bags of these. These again look very standard, but they seem a little bit smaller or shorter than some of the other competitive companies. Then we got the good old A and B plant food. This stuff shows up everywhere. If you're unfamiliar with A and B plant food, what you're gonna do is mix water with these. One is a really light crystal and one are usually tablets. You're gonna add these with water, shake them up. In your lid is actually a measuring cup. Then you can add equal parts of the A and B food to your plants. Here are your little net baskets, and these are square. They feel a little bit of a lighter plastic. I've had some that are a little bit more sturdy or a thicker plastic. You also get a whole bunch of these, and actually they gave us a lot of them. Now, one of my favorite things with these kits that I always feel they should include, and if they don't, I'm so disappointed, are the covers. What this does is if you're planting only maybe 6 out of the 12, because it's something that's gonna have a really big root system, if you are gonna try the tomatoes and you've got 12 spots, you might only wanna plant 3 because your tomato plants can really get big and take over. So then the other spots that are on your deck, you can just cover with these covers. That will stop any light from getting into the water, and that will help slow down any algae growth. And these are really nice too because they have little handles on them, so you can just easily pop them off if you want to add more seeds at a later date. This is really interesting that I'm seeing, and I have not seen before. So a lot of these come with trellises that will just sit right into your grow deck. And this is something that if you are doing a plant that's starting to fall over, you can twist tie it to this, or if you put them on all 4 corners, you could wrap it with a string and kind of make like a tomato cage. But what's interesting that they sent is a whole bunch of little short ones. So we have long ones and short ones. So it probably depends on if you want to have a couple short ones in the middle, and then you could have some long ones on the edge, but they give you... Interrupt this video to do an insert video. So I was putting it all away and I looked at the instructions again while I was putting it away, see if I missed anything. These little short things that I thought were trellises are actually support rods. Now I've never seen this before and I don't know if you would need them, but there's 4 of them that actually go underneath of your grow deck. And then when you put it in, it's actually giving extra support to the top down into the water tank. Not really sure if you would need that, but they are there in case you're growing something super heavy on the top, I guess. You could use these as trellises on the top for shorter, or you can use them as support feet. Okay, back to the regular programming. I'll show you the pump inside because I think it's really important to note that this pump is a little bit different. You can see it has this little top section here. So it is going to be pushing the water, from what I can see, kind of up and over. So with this system, another thing to know is you're going to want to put your light bar on first before your grow deck, and it snaps into place. So that's where that's gonna go. And then you can slide your grow deck over top. And what makes this system again different than some of the others is now we have a seal around where that light bar is. So there's not gonna be any light leakage around your light bar. Also with these, I always recommend pulling them up and down by your light bar. Don't ever pull it from the top. Number one, you're gonna maybe disconnect it from your light bar, but also these tops are so sensitive with the push buttons, and once you get it set to the time that you want it to come on in the morning, if you accidentally push one of those by trying to push it up and down, you're gonna reset your time, and that just stinks. So let's take a look at the height and the measurements of this. So we've got pretty good height on it, and I will grab my tape measure and we'll take a look. So from the base of the light bar to the very top of the grow deck, we are just over 19 inches. So that's a little bit better than some. Some can be around 18 inches. I have other systems that go 24 inches, which is just crazy. So let's put it all the way down, and we don't get quite the closeness when it is all the way down, and we're about 7 3/4. Now on the back, you just have your wire that is hanging right out the bottom. There's no fancy tucking it up or tucking it in. There's no plugging the light bar in. It looks like it's all in one system, which is nice. And before I plug this in, I'm gonna add water. You never know when you turn on one of these new systems if your pump is gonna kick on right away, and we never wanna run these pumps dry. Because the grow deck actually attaches over top of the light bar, we're gonna have to use this little hole, but I will slide it up and out of the way so we can make sure we can see this pump. Okay, I just wanna make sure I have enough water in there that our pump is covered. Okay, there was a beep. That happens a lot with these two, and that's letting you know after a few seconds that it does have power. So let's turn the power button on, and let me check in the instructions how long this one runs. Usually the lights are between 14 and 16 hours. The light is gonna be on for 16 hours and off for 8. So when you are turning this on, that is determining when it's going to shut off 16 hours later. Now the pump on this one is a little bit different with the timing. It has a 30-minute on and a 30-minute off. That is a long time to have a pump running. Usually your pumps only run for maybe 5 or 10 minutes within an hour, not a full hour just split in half. So that's really interesting that the pump is gonna run a little bit longer on this system. Okay, so something else I'm just reading that I have never seen with a tabletop system. Some of them, the fancier brands, will actually have a light that will flash and indicate when your water level is low. This one has something totally different. You are gonna hear 10 beeps at 1 second intervals. So we'll beep 10 times. That is an alarm telling you that your water level is low, or that there is roots or debris blocking your pump. This is mind-blowing to me. I haven't had a system that has done that yet. So that's kind of a little smart feature, I guess we can say, for this one. Pretty impressed with that feature. So I'm gonna move this deck out of the way just a little bit and see if we can get inside, and I'll do a close-up shot of what this pump looks like, and we're gonna see it together for the first time. Okay, so here's our pump, and I hope I have enough water in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. Oh, look at that. That's what I thought. It's gonna sprinkle out the top. That is a really nice pump. That's really gonna help aerate those roots. And once you start to get the air roots, it's gonna be splashing water up on top of the air roots. So it's just gonna give them a little bit of a mist. I can feel a mist on my hand as well as on my phone camera. So we can just turn this back off. And there we go, that's the pump. Now, one more thing to note with the lights is the vegetable and the flower settings. These are always really important to see in these types of units because it's a different color variation. We can see up underneath that we have some reds and some blues, and now we're into the vegetable mode. Now we're gonna go to flower. And I have more yellow tones with the flowers, which is pretty standard, and that's what you're gonna want. You don't need as much of a bright white when you're doing like a vegetable, a tomato, your lettuces. You kind of want that more sun yellow color for the flowers. So by doing that, it looks like we're really losing the blue. So it's just gonna be your reds and your white spectrums, where your vegetables are then adding in the blues. So that's kind of a nice added feature to have both of those. So overall, I think this system is really good. Feels pretty solid. I think it would work just like all the other ones. I don't have any doubt that it wouldn't. If you're brand new to indoor gardening, these systems are an easy way to learn and kind of grow with the plants. But the most important thing is to grow with Angie. This is a community of all of us together, and that's why I call you my lettuce heads, because we are in this together, growing together. And if you're interested in more of the product reviews of these types of different systems, go ahead and check out this playlist right here, and I'll see you over there.